What's up, you guys? Mitchell and Mitchell Sip and Spill is in the building. How is you guys tonight? Kimmy Kim, what's going on with yourself?
What's up, y'all? I'm good, Sip. What's going on with you?
I am fair for a square, but I can't compare, and I won't do it anywhere.
Okay.
I wouldn't even dare. That's from Dr. Seuss, in case y'all didn't know.
Okay.
We are in the building today. We're continuing on. We're going to wait till more people come on in. We got our good friend and brother online to get in and talk about what we wants from women's and what women's wants from men's and all of those good things. Last week it was pretty cool because we got a chance to talk to a couple of people that got a chance to chime in and talk about what they wanted in relationships, especially relating to women.
Yes.
And pretty interesting. And hopefully we can go a little further with it. Pretty interesting where we see that sound a little bit better. Okay. Pretty interesting what we were talking about and how we came about it. And the gentleman that we're talking had some very good insight as to what they were looking for. And also, Kim was saying about things that they were getting. So there's an obvious abstract or difference between what you may actually want and what you actually get in return. Kim, break it down. So last couple of weeks, we were talking, and it stemmed from, I guess,
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he had said something about women need to, or not need to, he was suggesting.
Right, he made the suggestion.
That perhaps some women should consider
yes,
dating a guy. If you like him and he like you and y'all have a good relationship, even if he doesn't have the kind of money or the kind of whatever that you have, don't disregard what he can bring to the table. If he can pay the light bill, if he didn't have as much money, but as long as he loves you, got a good relationship. That was kind of the part. And then it stems some other stuff from there.
I mean, I don't think it was so much about love. He didn't say that. He did say, though, Sip, that if you meet a guy, because the pool out here of the men, of the good men that women say they're looking for, specifically Black women, particularly Black women, he basically said that if you got a guy that can pay the light bill, okay, if he can pay the light bill, then you might want to give him a chance. Now, he might not be able to make as much money as you do because most Black women are making more money nowadays. Mm-hmm. And he was saying that don't count him out as a man because he can only pay the light bill. So with that said, women all call in, guys, they was chiming in, different people's like, well, I get that, but I'm tired of chasing potential, or I have been providing this and that and the third for a guy all this time I've been dating or being in a relationship, and I'm tired of that. Why can't I have a standard for a man to, be who I want him to be, which is a provider? Mm-hmm. Then we had the men speak last week. Basically, they were saying, well, what they want in a woman. They want a woman to be, communicative, a nurturing, and I guess be, that person that they can depend on. So the men spoke, and then also I raised the question, Sip, was, hey, do he require the same thing? If his credit score is over 700, can he, have the same type of, expectation from a woman of interest? If he make $400,000, can he say you have to make $400,000? You have to match me in order for me to even consider dating you? That was going around all on social media. I'm quite sure all you guys have seen that. And with that stated, this is where we came to today, where the men spoke, the women spoke, and now I just want to get to what we're actually getting. And Sid, what I'm learning is from the different people of the different feedbacks. And I want to say hello to all the people that's going to be seeing this on replay. We live right now, but I don't want to not acknowledge you guys that we appreciate y'all chiming in and watching us if you couldn't get on here when we're on here live. But still, go ahead and leave your questions and we will be responding back in our DMs. But I can say that, Sip, I personally can say that from the men, they have spoken and the women have spoken. Carl was on last week. And one of our followers came on and she asked a question and we were going off. So I told Carl that we were going to ask him this question when he come on. So I have a question to ask him. You can bring Carl on.
Okay. Dr. Carl, you're in the building.
Hello, party people.
Party people in the place to be.
So I can see that you're sipping now. I have the red cup. you know, and I will be, you know, sipping. I definitely have the cups,
Yeah, I
you
got the
know.
cups going.
Sipping and spilling is what we're doing. So let's sip on this and I'm going to spill on that. So, Carl, the lady came on our followers. She wanted me to ask you this particular question.
Yes.
And that is, you stated that you like a Claire Huxtable type woman with class and nurturer, you know, more like a mom and, you know, that type of aspect. And the question is, how much is too much nurturing?
I'm trying
Because
to
a
get.
lot of women are saying that they feel like that they've done all that and that still, they still didn't get what they wanted in a guy. So what would you say, since you said that, can you define that?
Right. Well, too much nurturing from a woman is when she gets to the point where she loses herself. And this is a tendency that happen with women, where not all women, but women get to a point where they can love themselves, they can love a man so much, and then actually give up themselves. So they actually play the backseat, and this is not good for a woman mentally. It's not good for a woman even genetically. That's a whole other conversation as well too. But this is not good for a woman because even after a period of time, it can create codependency. So her true self becomes lost. And men can actually pick up on this, believe it or not. And after a period of time, a man can actually leave her because, of how he views her, of amount of attraction and respect that goes along with it. And after a while, it gets old. So last week when I talked about a thing called the continuity of life, I think I'm half in the screen. There we go. Get further off. There we go. When it's like a flow of, I only got one hand because I'm holding my phone, but imagine like a helix, right? It's a connection. That there's connection points. Man and woman connect, and they have to connect because energetically, mentally, emotionally, they have to push each other forward. So if she's at a stagnant point where she's dependent upon him, and she doesn't bring forth, because men need women, and especially in arenas where they might need their wisdom, their assistance, their understanding, because woman, she might pick up on some things that a man can't see. But so if she's so much, how did it go on the first Coming to America? So what do you like? Anything that you like? What do you want? Anything that you want? That's not how it should be, because he may need her wisdom and even push sometimes, for him to propel to a higher height in life, and vice versa. So kind of going back to what I was saying to answer the question is when it gets to a point that she gives up herself, so her true self is lost, it's gone. Then she breaks up with him, and then I can even tell you firsthand stories of women that I've known. It takes her a while to find out who she really is. I knew women that were vegetarians, right? They got with a man who was a meat eater, and I'm not advocating either one, so I'm not going that direction. But so she got on his diet. She started, she gained weight, and then she was unhappy. So I talked to her. She was like, man, I started doing other things they did that I don't even do. I lost myself. I don't know who I was anymore. She left him, and she regained herself back. In a sense, you can say she regained her soul. Right. So, this is, I'm not sure if is anyone commenting right now, because I can't even read the comments. But so that's the answer to the question so far.
No one's commenting currently right now. But to hear you say, just to recap, basically you're saying a woman can nurture so much to the guy that where she loses herself, her individuality is lost. And
yes.
Basically so you're saying you want a woman to be a nurturer, and then she be that, and then she do it so well and so good that you basically lose interest in her from doing that because she loses herself. So there's a balance. Yes. So you want her to be that, but at the same time. So this is when, so I'm gonna go ahead and play devil advocate and say what a lot of women would say is, what do you guys want? Because we do that, we do this, and then it's still got to be like a balance. Just like with a woman, you men have spoken and said, basically, you want her to look a certain way, you want her to have a certain way, you want her to, have class, nurturing, all those things, and we do all that. But you're telling me they're walking away and they hearing you on all our social media sites, Carl. Everybody is hearing you say that you do that, but I still could lose interest in you for being too much of nurturing. And that way where you lose yourself, though, just because you lose yourself, correct?
Okay. So yes. So there's a book by the good sister, Shahrazad Ali. Shahrazad Ali. And I have to give her flowers right now. Shahrazad Ali. Right. So she wrote a book called The Misunderstanding of, oh my God, how does it go? The Black Man Guides to Understanding the Black Woman. The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. Very good read, right? So, but this is a sister. This is a sister giving the sauce, right? But it's a very educational book. So in that book, she explains that a man never forgets a good woman. So there's no such thing as being nurturing and then men still leave and not really forgetting who she was. Men still even talk about like, man, she was a good woman, man. This gets down to knowing how to pick a man, knowing how to choose a mate.
Okay, let me intervene for a second because I don't want to speak over you.
Go ahead.
But when you say that she won't be forgotten,
yes,
it's not so much that she don't want to be forgotten. She want to be honored. She want to be known for being that nurturer, being there for him, as you say. So, but you said out of your mouth to the sip and spill ears that he can lose interest and that the individuality is lose her individuality of being a nurturer.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. He will not want to be with her anymore. And that's what I'm saying. That's where a lot of women are confused, and a lot of women are trying to figure out that balance of what they need to be for that guy because they show up that way. Correct. And then at the same time, they lose themselves, which I also agree with you, which it should be a balance where they don't do that. Because the thing that attracted him to her in the first place was she was able to be his strength when he was weak. And she was bringing contributions to him that he felt that was well suited for him at where he was at the time of his life. Mm-hmm. But for a lot of women, and I'm asking you, Sip, too, as well as, you guys, me and you chime in, and everybody that's listening to me as a man, please call in and, you can let us know. I think the question that I got most from women is what exactly do you want besides physical? You understand? You know what I'm saying? So I figure that a lot of women feel like, I don't want to be nobody's mama.
Yeah.
And I can't raise, I can't raise a man.
So
what do you say to that?
It's twofolded. You can always overdo something, right? Once you go past the limit of what something is intended to be, you overextend it and it becomes something else. So a point where woman is supposed to be a nurturer, women are nurturers by nature. Women are more compassionate by nature. This is women's superpower, right? And this gives her a holistic view on life and situations in general. This is why men need the wisdom of a woman. When it gets to a point where she overextends herself, now it's becoming something else where she loses herself, where now she feels like what she wants is not as important as him. Really is both of them coming together and both of them produce something. Quick story. I remember I was in Barnes Noble one time, right? I was in Barnes Noble and I was looking in the magazine section. And there was a guy next to me and he was looking at cars. But he's like, I'm about to go to the business section. And I was like, why? He's like, because my woman told me, he's like, I can't get to here unless I go here first. I can't get, but that's the push he needed. Okay. So, and in turn, they help each other out, so I'm saying this is important because women can get your mate in general, I should say, your mate or lover can get to you closer than maybe a relative can sometimes, not to get too biblical, but when people quote like that part of Genesis, man cleaves to a woman and things of that nature. What it's saying is that there's a certain type of connectivity, connectiveness that goes with the two that helps each other out. So still going back to my original sentiment of continuity of life, of existence, of things going forward. It's not just in amongst humans, it's an animal kingdom as well. But she has to get to the point where she has to be strong within herself, and the man shouldn't even want to be with the woman that she gives up all of herself just to please him. So now it's getting to another arena of psyche of both people, and this leads to the conversation of the narcissist and the codependent, which is a whole other conversation.
Okay. I heard the last part about that codependent. You said that leads to another conversation. Codependency and narcissist.
It can lead to that, yes. It can. If you all can hear me, let me know, because I'm not sure if you can hear me.
No, we hear you. We hear you fine.
Yeah, so
fine.
yeah, it can lead to that, because like I said before, once something go past the point of what it's intended to be by nature, woman needs a man, man needs a woman by nature. But when it gets to a point where one part where it's imbalanced, then you have to question, okay, why is it so imbalanced? How come? Because I've been in relationships like that before. Why is that you don't want to exude any type of thought, independent thought? It's all about what I want to do, and I mean, which is okay to a certain degree, but there's nothing that you want to initiate or say. I'm not Mr. Perfect. I mean, everything I do is good. No. And one person in particular, little background of myself. I followed this person. We stayed friends after a while, and I watched her jump from friend to friend. She was looking for something. So people that have an insecurity try to look for something for security. So now this is beyond the point of doing what's naturally made to be in a relationship, or a mate, or a lover, or husband or wife. Now it's leading to something else. Now you have a void, that you want to feel, but men and women evaluate life, go through our life differently, and they both need each other, to help better both themselves. I'm not sure if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think you make sense. I agree with a lot of you saying. I think that I guess let's start with a woman losing herself in the relationship. Let's start with that. I like that point you brought up, because that's a common situation in relationships, especially with Black women, obviously. I guess with women in general, if they're in love and they're in this whatever, they lose themselves. So how do we, as men, when the question is asked, okay, what do we want from women? First thing is, obviously, you were saying you want a person that actually, you're attracted to, those type of things, right? Has some commonality. Got some things about herself that you like. There's a thing that Kimmy says all the time. I've learned this in the past couple of years, is the self evaluation, or the inventory check. So I think there is a to alleviate that kind of situation where the person loses themselves and blah 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 and all the things you were attracted to them about. And now, like you just said, whatever you like, and they start catering to you. How do we help them to navigate that space from getting to, okay, you were cool, you were dope, is why I like you, right? Now you all about me. And it's like, or now you acting like me and shit that I like, you love it. And it's like, you didn't really fuck with it at first, but now all of a sudden it's all you. How do we help navigate them back to the place of being themselves that we were attracted to initially, or that we really want? And then for them to also, because what happened too is there's resentment, and it's a hidden resentment from that woman, because now I've done all this for you, even though I'm not asking you to do these things per se, right? I'm not saying, hey, act like me, walk like a Doug, smoke cigars, drink, blue or guave, or, jump off the cliff. I'm not saying to do those things, even though I like you doing it. But now that you do it, and it's like, well, you're not yourself, it's kind of like, damn, now you this, that, and the other. I have this resentment because now I'm this different person because of your ass. So now, how do we institute the self-evaluate, or the evaluation thing, or the or what we say, the evaluate, what do you call the check?
Inventory check.
The inventory check. How do we how we institute the inventory check? We say, okay, yo, listen, you tripping. Like on the real, you was cool last year. Now you on some old, Pam acting like Martin. Did you remember how on Martin's show, Pam started acting like Martin after a while? It's like she was doing all his shit, and it was kind of like, all right, you getting a little too much. When are you gonna do your thing about me? So it's a point with that,
That's a question. Okay.
No, I got a question for you.
I have to say,
You can answer it, but it wasn't like I was putting it on you because I was just saying when do we as men try to get that back? Because I guess the bottom line is that we want what we want from our women at different points. There's check marks, right? Again, I look. You said something last week I thought was dope, and I broke it down like, okay, he said Claire Huxtable, right? Classy, right? Sexy, gorgeous, intelligent, can hold the house down. You see what I'm saying? Can handle business. You dig what I'm saying? Is a dope ass mother. All those type of things, right? So kind of like she probably a lady in the street and freaking the bed type of move or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we want. So but what's up? Hey now, how you doing? So anyway, so that's what we want. So basically, how do we get them to get back to that point we want them to be? This is what we want from them. We want them to kind of stay that way. And at some point we got to see little signals and say, okay, you're getting off track, you're tripping a little bit, you losing yourself, you know what I'm saying? Do we have the moxie or the intelligence to even notice it? Sometimes we don't even notice that shit. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would say that which each person, it starts with a conversation. It starts with a question. What are you interested in life? What are you interested in life? What do you want to do? Is there anything that you want to better yourself on? Anything that you see to me that I should better myself on? And if a person keeps firing off, oh no, nothing. Oh no, nothing. Now they're putting themselves in the point of being docile. And if they're too docile for so long, if you with anybody, I don't care if it's a friend, a homeboy, homegirl, whoever it is, sister, you're not going to always agree with this person all the time because nobody's always right, nobody's always wrong. But if you're in a relationship with somebody and they're just docile for so long, this is what a problem. So it starts with questions, simple questions. What do you want to do? I mean, what do you think we should do? Anything think we should do better around here? What do you want to become?
So for me personally, I'm gonna go back to what both of you all said. So Ed, aka Sip, said that he feel like that how do we get women back to the point of realizing basically that you kind of went too far, what you've done, and don't lose yourself.
Yeah.
The fact that I think first you said there's a conversation that need to be had, but you said what your interests are. Okay, so that's kind of whack as hell because, and I'm gonna go right to that because I've already been with you. I'm here with you, and I've done all what I've done. We're talking about a woman that given herself already. So what do you mean? You asked me what my interests are. So that's what you was interested in me. That's how I became. Sip is saying, what is it that gets you back to the place of where I can say, baby, check this out. Like you done been there for me. So personally, I'm going to give the response that I think a lot of women would love and deserve to hear. And that is, you have seen this woman come and be there for you time and time again. But yes, you're right, Sip. A lot of times women can get past and keep going and they don't stop. And the men just keep taking and taking and taking. It's vice versa too. I've seen men go through the same thing, taking and taking, and you don't know when to stop because the giving just keeps giving. But at some point you do have to pour back into her. Because if you really fucks with her on the real, you're going to tell her that, listen, this is what I love you. Men are so powerful. You guys are so powerful when you pour into a woman because you do have the power to see that we losing ourselves beyond anybody, especially if that's your woman. Not somebody you just fucking around with, but I'm talking about if that's your woman, like you know her, you in tune with her, you can pour into her and tell her stuff that would change her whole game and outlook. So you do have to take that inventory check. And if she's not taking it for, then that's your job for you to do it for her. You have to remind her of that.
I have a question on that. So when you decide to pour into her, how would you know what to pour inside of her unless you do an inventory check, as you all say, which is a good terminology I like, or questioning? How would you know, unless you probe and inquire, how would you know what to actually pour inside of her?
Okay, so my answer to that is Sip stated that, we have to, if a woman, you said, Carl, that if a woman is basically can lose herself with a guy, and Sip saying that if, you have to have the inventory check to talk to her to kind of help her, how do we stop them from losing themselves? I'm saying that It's not a question that you ask them. You just know. You said, Carl, that you will lose interest in her because she's given so much of herself. So her individuality become lost. So if she was great at the gate at the beginning, and then you start seeing her change, it's like a woman, as you said, you and Sip are saying you want to nurture her. So you guys don't have that emotion like we do, but you have it enough. You have the discernment enough when you can see that your woman has become something else, just like we can as our men. So what I'm saying is that you will tell her, like you might have been in a space in your life that you're not there no more. So you can tell her that, babe, I appreciate everything and anything, right? But at the same time, I don't want you to lose you because I like that about you. I like that you like to do this. I like that you like to do that. You remind her, because sometimes, just like even in friendship, you have to remind each other who the fuck you are. Because sometimes we lose our way. So it's the same thing in relationships in every aspect. That's the reason why I say relationship should be treated like a business contract. Why? Because then you constantly and consistently have inventory checks. You should know where you at all times. Because then there's no room for no cracks and things to get in, and then it dissolves and create what I call pus. And that's the worst thing in an infection. So in order for that not to happen, then you need to deliver to your person where they at. And listen, I love this. I like that. That's not happening no more. So yeah, I can't tell you what to do. You grown. You can't tell me what to do. I'm grown. But let's respect being grown and say, you don't even like you. Because most of the time, women don't like themselves. We know as women when we've lost ourselves from gaining weight, not giving a damn how we look around the house. You know, when we see him, you seeing her too. She ain't looking as cute as she used to. She don't even care too much. You come on, she got the bonnet on. She don't really, you know what I'm saying? It's what it is. It's like, boy, I just woke up. I just got off work. You know, she don't, you know what I'm saying? She's not caring so much about herself. She half-assed doing her job. What the things that she used to do to get you, to keep you, she stopped doing. So with that stated, that's what I'm saying. You want to make it your business to pour into that person that they have lost themselves. Because if you care about them, you want to encourage them to be themselves. You want to encourage them that you fucks with them just for them being them. I mean, that's what I would say. Just like a man lost his way. I think a woman should not just be like, he ain't shit, he ain't this, and he ain't that. I think a woman should tell her guy, listen, you that nigga, you that guy. And don't let nobody else tell you. I'm gonna encourage you because we all lose our way sometimes. That's in life.
Yeah.
Period. When you lifing, things happen and it knock the wind out of you. From losses of our parents, from losses of, God forbid, children, from job losses, career, money change. You go up, you go down. Your body don't work the way it used to work. I mean, all kind of things happen in your life. But if that's your person, I'm going to encourage everybody that's listening to the Mitchell&Mitchell Sip and Spill. Your girl, Kimmy Kim, aka Spill, is telling you to pour into that person. Because you can go out and you can start and you can meet this, you can do that. You can. And that could be a wonderful meet cute, that I would say. But when you got somebody riding for you and you know it, you need to pour into that person. That's it.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. And also too, after a while, people, they have to kind of reinvent themselves as well too, to keep it fresh, to keep it fresh. And to, if you're serious about somebody, to not start off with sex. One of my favorite shows is Millionaire Matchmaker, which Kim knows, in the whole dating realm conversation. And one thing she would always mantra is no sex without monogamy. And take that how you want to take it. But in other words, what she's saying is that if you're on in the serious dating market and you seriously want to be with someone, you should kind of don't take those cookies out the bag just so soon and get to know someone. Because when you do that, you kind of accelerate and you kind of bypass the moment of getting to know each other, the moment of of being friends first and being able to understand each other's personality and perspective on life. Here's something that I've learned is that in some cultures, they look at it as arguments is not a bad thing, because an argument is able to determine, for one, there's a problem. So you can identify a problem and both of you are discussing in your own way of how to resolve a problem. So you know, kind of going to what you're saying, fortify what you're saying, Kim, about, about pouring into someone, so it still takes being able to connect with someone and being have a conversation. After a while, people they can become complacent, um, and not want to feel like, they're just happy where they're at. Um, yeah, that's my comment on that, just to keep the conversation going.
Well, I want to change it up just a little bit and talk to why have you men here, to talk directly to the women that not only we talked about what you all want, but what you actually getting, basically what you're settling for. So I think, do you think, Sip, do you think, Carl, that you think women settle for things?
You know what? I'm gonna say yes and no. I think the subtle is for I'm gonna go with what Carl was saying about the sexual aspect. There's aspects of people that you like, that you desire. As a person that you just can't, for some reason, something physically about them that you whatever. This person, because this person makes you feel a certain way, especially at a certain time of your life, because they make you feel a certain way or they feel a void in a certain part of your life, we mistake that as a person that's necessary for our life, and we settle based off of what they can actually bring to our lives to advance us other than a physical or emotional point at that moment, even though those things are important. I don't think that people just, if a person is not let's say um, financially stable, if they're not physically attractive, if they're not sexually uh, wonderful, then there's no why there's no attract. There's nothing there that you can say I'm settling for one or the other. But there's got to be some things that are filling holes in the middle of your life. So that being said, at my point, why would a woman settle is because of where they are in their lives and based off of where they are in their lives and what's available to them at that point. If that person, if what's most important to you at that time is an emotional uh, care bear, a person that you know based off the incapabilities or the inabilities to sustain a job or whatever the thing that they may be lacking from another person. The fact that they can't do that particular thing at that moment, you might say, you know what, but they're there. I know they're gonna be there when I come home. I know you used to say this little joke about bubble gum and or video games and dick or something like that, but you know they'll be there. You know they'll be there, and so now you got, okay, I got this person. They into me. What I do and how I am is important to them. I'm attractive to them. They love what I do, who I am, as opposed to this guy who is this whatever, this six-figure earner or high value man, as a gentleman used to say. This person doesn't really value me. This person thinks I'm the bomb. So yes, emotion at that time, and then what happens is over a while, once you emotionally healed, or you got a little bit better, you got a little clearer sight. It's kind of like, oh, this is not really God, I'm kind of growing, I'm better, and now I need somebody that's going to help me advance. I got these issues that I'm looking at in life. I need somebody to kind of co-work with me, partner with me, help me, co-labor with me, give me some insight, pour into me. And you don't necessarily have that particular you may not necessarily have that particular help with that person. So that to me would be some sort of a way of what we look at it as settling, and that's the reason why I would think just a man on the outside, one woman will settle, not just because it's got to be. It's to me, I think it has to do with the emotional state. Is that person emotionally available to them, or do they satisfy a certain need or desire they need at the time? That's my opinion on that.
So would you say that you think that men do the same thing? That they settle for women in the same aspect? The woman meet their needs at that time and then they outgrow those needs and then they don't want that particular person or they settling at that time? Do you think men do the same thing that women do?
I think everybody does a bit of settling at certain points of their lives based off of what their needs are, what's going on with them, or what their mentality is at the time, or whatever. I think there's a certain level of I'm gonna go ahead and roll with this or rock with this, or the sex is good, or my they're listening to my conversation, or they're hearing me out, or they and or conversely, it could be somebody who's there financially for them. I got a friend that's dealing with a guy that he was there for her when she needed him financially. And it's almost like she's obligated to him because he bailed her out in the situation. He was interested in her, and she kind of was cool with him, but he really came through in the clutch and did things that her situation couldn't handle. And so he got her on the clutch. And now it's almost like she's damn near beholding to her because the way she was able to get out. And it's almost like, again, she settled on the finance. Now, this ain't about a dick and emotion. It's about, I needed some money. I need to be able to get my life together. I need to get my kids out of a situation. I need to get myself out of a situation. I need to prepare my future. I have an opportunity at work, and I'm in a better situation now because of this person. So now it's like, damn, what do I do?
But do you think that, so for me, for settling is saying that there's like no other option. So going back to what Tyler Perry has stated, we want to read a comment.
You attack to your life according to your energy field. If you're feeling great about yourself, the universe will bless you with a great relationship. On the contrary, if you're feeling like I don't know, I can't see the rest. I got to find out how to read the rest.
Let me see.
Maybe I got to scroll down. Oh, you feel like crap. If you feel like crap, the universe will grant you what you're blasting.
So that was a comment. Okay, so basically she's stating that the universe would give you based on your energy and what you're actually giving off. So if you're saying you want this type of person, then or you want that type of situation, that's what you're saying, that will come forth. Basically, that will be manifested into your life, is what she's basically saying. So I'm saying, though, I think that settling comes in when you feel that there's no option versus man or woman. And at that time, a person comes in your life and provide financially, or they take away your loneliness, or they fill any type of void that you have. I don't feel that there's nothing wrong with that if you've grown with that. And what I mean when I say that, being grown with that is just don't let the boundary be crossed. Don't let the boundary be crossed to allow the person to think that there's something else than what it really is.
How do you do that?
And that is because, well, if you feeling me and I'm not feeling you in that way at all whatsoever, but I can provide a service to you, don't you think it's a complete injustice? Just like this is what Tyler Perry brought it out to women. This is what he's saying. And he's saying that basically don't just settle, don't just knock off somebody because they don't have something that you feel that you should have, 6'3" black chocolate and this, that, and the third, right? And then you meet a guy, because I want to say for the guys and the women that might not be all those things, but they are that man or that woman that can pay the light bill and can cook you a good meal and keep your house clean and be there when you need somebody and fulfill other needs. So what I'm saying is that don't discard them, but don't mislead them either. Because I think a lot of people become selfish and they thinking about them and feeling their need, but that need is going to create something else to that person on the back end. And that I'm providing all this to you because I'm thinking that we're having something. And you knowing all the time we're not. But you appreciate. Well, then let me be that friend of appreciation, or let me choose. This is what I choose to do with you or for you, versus if it's sex, financially, or whatever, let that be something that I understand from the gate of what it is between us. I think a lot of women get sent off because we are receivers and we think that there's something else with us exchanging bodily fluids or giving me money. Or guys, the opposite, feel like I done paid her car note, rent, her nails, her hair, everything. And what you mean? That's my woman, So I think it's both ways. So what I'm saying is that inventory check is so crucial in this time in life. It doesn't matter what age you are, what gender you are, what generation you are. You need to have those type of conversations. And I think a lot of times women need to stop being men internships, meaning that I don't want to be this so you can get to that. And a man should do the same thing. Listen, don't settle for me because I ain't got this and that. But I'm, as you said, I said in the past when I was talking about what women say this all a man could do. I knew of a judge, and then I knew of a gym owner, and the judge loved the gym owner, and the gym owner loved the judge, but the judge did not want to bring the gym owner around her people because she felt his status quo was not good enough. but he owns 6, 7 gyms and he's doing very well for himself. He wasn't playing video games, providing sex and chewing bubble gum. It's a lot of women going hard for that, working 2, 3 jobs, coming on, and that's what they go to the crib to. So it's like that to me did make men pause and be like, well, damn, he doing good and he still ain't getting the respect he deserved. So it works both ways. I think women are making more money. I agree with Tyler Perry that women are making more money. And I also agree that that you should, I personally think that you need to do inventory check of yourself and be clear as what you want. And yes, you should manifest that. Most of the time, a woman is given the love that she wants. So if she say, how you doing today? What she wants you to say to her is how she doing today. How was your day?
She's putting out the love she wants.
Most of the time, the woman is giving the love to the man that she wants.
Okay.
So if she's asking you how good was your day, then she's saying that she wants you to say to her, how good was your day? Most of the time, I don't like to speak about celebrities, but I am going to speak about somebody that I actually saw this. So I like to talk about what I know and not what I heard. And that's what we do on the Mitchell&Mitchell Super Spill show. But y'all know him as Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. And they asked him, he was on a show with some other Black men. And they asked him, like, how do you know, like, how do you be with a good woman? And he said the number one thing is that the men are not pouring into her. And one of the things is what I just stated. And that is you need to be able to contact and share that with her and literally say that with her, what I just said. And I just feel like I said, it's there and we can eliminate a lot of other things if we just have the conversation. And sometimes I like to say this too, and that is some days you might only give 20%. That's it. That's all I got. So when you say, you know what, I didn't have a day. I'm telling you, all I got is 20. And he could say, that's all right, baby. I got you. You know what? I got 80. I can carry us both today. We at 100. Some days I only got 5. So I'm just saying, you just got to have those type of inventory checks, conversations. And I feel like it's not just what I want. It's not just what he wants. But it's what we actually can get. And you can have the love life that you really want if you really go after it. But you ain't got to step on nobody. You ain't got to hurt nobody. You ain't got to mistreat nobody. You ain't got to mislead nobody to have it. That's my take.
Well, my question is, do you think, so with all that being discussed, do you think that overall people are actually getting what they're looking for in relationships?
I think people are more importantly, are not getting what they want. Relationships. I think people are suffering in silence, and I think that they are lying to each other every day. And then the relationship is ending so abruptly and so fast. Divorce so quick nowadays. They ain't even got to look at you wrong. They ain't even got to say nothing. It's over. And then they look at other people, and you see all these different social media sites are like, oh, they so in love, and they got 7 kids, and they this and that, they traveling here, they traveling, and then it comes out they not together. It's a lot of couples right now, people talking about high profile couples and all their businesses in the street. And I promise to God, I wouldn't change it for the world, because at the end of the day, it's hard enough sip lifing, you know what I'm saying, than to have the whole world weighing in, on what you are going through and what you are experiencing. Because most people need to understand that when you get married, you are not marrying that person and who they're going to become. You are not. The person that you say I do to is that person that day. That person is going to change on a consistent basis. Why? Because they grow. So if you can grow with them, then great. But most people outgrow each other because they do not have inventory check. They don't treat each other like a relationship that is a business.
What's so funny is that I'm going to do this as a shameless plug for myself. God bless you. So I want to do a shameless plug. So what we're building for the people that are logging in and subscribing to us, and also everybody, do us a favor and share these videos that we've got. The videos that are coming up. You're going to see a lot more content, we're polishing up a lot of our acts, so to speak. You're going to see a lot of more information that's kind of give you more direct as to where we're going and that type of thing. Share information, and we really, really, really encourage you guys to have people subscribe. We're at a point right now we're boosting and we're growing. And that being said, we got an organization that's actually primed to helping to reconstruct and recalibrate the thinking of our people from the root to the fruit. And so we're going to get into those type of things. We also, Miss Kimmy Kim has a thing we're going to be doing with her, Trauma the Triumph organization, where we're helping people to get over it, which is doing her life coaching. So Mitchell&Mitchell Silver Spill, as you know, is not just an entertainment company, which is what we are. We are, if you need us to book us for an event, we're here for it. The host right now, we've been more serious. We do a lot of funny stuff too. But we got an organization that's going to be geared toward helping us to start thinking differently about these things, like actually instituting inventory checks. What actually is that? Kimmy is going to give out a whole full breakdown of how you can institute inventory checks to make it a part of your daily regimen with yourself and with the people around you. She's an advocate for confronting the situation head on, talking about the situation, even though it's uncomfortable, ripping the band-aid off or the bandage off, as she would say, and going into that. So that being said, inventory checks is something that's very, very important. And I think saying it is one thing, but implementing and actually practicing is a whole other thing. And that's what we're going to do. That organization you'll see is called BPEP, Black Prism Evolution Project, that we've got, along with Trauma to Triumph organization. But anyway, that being said, as we try to navigate this path of, okay, what do we want in our person and what we get out of it, I think that I don't know, Carl, do you do a thing where you kind of you have like check boxes? I know you said something about the Claire Huxtable thing, but like when you meet a woman, or you engage, not even meet a person, when you start to, I would say vet. This might sound terrible, but the world we live in, you have to kind of vet people, so to speak. Maybe you may know what I'm talking about. I don't know if anybody else agrees with that, but you don't just say, okay, you're kind of seeing who you're going to engage with. You're going to see who you're going to talk to. You may meet people here and there, and then you say, okay, this person now I can have, once you have this meet and greet or this whatever, you got a chance to talk to them. Now, what is it that you look for? I want to go into the depths of what do you look for? What are your boxes you check off? I don't know if you're still there, Carl. But if you're there,
Okay, all right. Good question.
and then I want to ask Estrella the same question, even though I know she's in a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. Me personally, in addition to everything we're talking about, I have a motto. I like the 2C. I call it the 2C model. 2Cs: conflict resolution and communication. And women that I've dealt with before in the past, I tell them this up front. And I know throughout your whole entire life, if you hadn't even thought about how to resolve an issue amicably and as an adult, and it's challenging, once you interface with that, if you live your whole life a certain way. But communication shows, for one thing, that communication shows is that it shows an amount of understanding, amount of being able to understand my point and your point. We don't have to agree as long as we understand each other. But you'll find that people, oh man, there's a saying that I heard that I like a lot. If you give someone else as much time as you give yourself, you might actually find someone that you like. Because a lot of times people, they become self-absorbed. So the Claire Huxtable aspect, Will Smith quoted this a while ago, many moons ago, when he was talking about how I respect the sacred feminine. Right. And you all understand the concept of the sacred feminine, you should look that up. Right. I respect the sacred feminine. And the reason why it's a sacred feminine, it's a sacred feminine, is because when something is sacred, this means that you give it the highest amount of value as possible. Okay. So when it comes to class and modesty, these things are dissolving right now in society, where for people, they don't even know what class and what modesty is. And this goes back to my original sentiment of, this is where the conversation has to be had between both sexes, right? To understand what one is desiring and what other one is desiring as well too, and actually needs, to be attracted to. Nowadays, there's an amount of false class that's being presented, false modesty that's being presented. Now, at the same time, let me say this: it does not mean that you're putting women in a position of servitude, are trying to subject women, where they're being controlled. It doesn't mean that. What it does is it brings out the best of women. It makes you want to appreciate the nobility of women. So this is where the Claire Huxtable construct comes into play, and it's not just fantasy because it's a TV show. I've had this conversation with men multiple times. If you look at Claire Huxtable, even as a mental construct, even as an image of what, as a character, what she portrayed. For one, she was a professional woman. She was very intelligent. She also was very reserved, and the way that she was able to give wisdom in situations where even she had to explain things to her children. Once again, we're talking about a TV show, right? This is, I think, very telling, and I think it's even a good model for women, especially sisters and Black women, to follow behind. Because other than that, what images do we have in the media? That we can look at on the basis of popular culture. And keep in mind, this is very influential to people, especially young girls coming up seeing these images. That's why when Barack Obama became president, a lot of Black people that went into politics because they want to become like him. So let's keep in mind how the media is very influential. But it's a certain thing that comes with class. It's a certain type of respect, and this is a conversation to women. When we give you a little bit of sauce here, how us men talk. This conversation that us men have amongst ourselves is that we approach women differently based on and I'm a man, I'm guilty as well too. Forget it. I'm gonna take a sip of that on the sipping spill. When when we can identify with a woman and you can see, man, we can just see that she has a certain amount of class to her, and we can say, you know what, she might go. That's two different approaches that we give to women. I gave y'all a little bit of sauce, woman. You better sip that up.
Yeah. That's
Two different approaches. You can continue to sip on that, okay?
Yeah, but you ain't lying. I mean, certain people have there was something that Charleston White had said one day, and he was going crazy talking to these women, and he was just talking about a situation where the lady had got into a fight with this guy at the store or wherever she was at, and the guy hit her. Her son came back, went to the gun and killed the guy, shot the guy. And Charleston White was like, he called her a B word, like that's a B word, blah blah. So real women don't even get into them niggas, into men's faces. A real woman commands a presence without even getting into the back of the saying words. So the real woman walk into a room and men start to pull up their pants and doing certain things like that. So that goes to what you were saying. There's certain women you can't call them. What's up, Shawty? Yo, what's good? Girl, you thick? What's up? Hey, let me pull up on you. Let me slide on you. You feel me? Some girls call her like that. And they like, oh, hey, Daddy. You know what I'm saying? And some women be like, listen, man, how are you doing? I was wondering if you had a moment. Right? There's certain people do. So that is true.
Yeah. I seen Kimmy Kim one time. Somebody tried to approach her like that. She took her shoe off and threw it at him. hit him right here in the face.
Right in the head. He probably still got the mark on his head right now.
Right now.
He learned like, I remember your ass, mother. You old birch. Can't stand you.
Well, I can definitely go on record and say that there is different approaches to men, but there's a presence that a woman should carry. But I also think there's a presence that a man should carry. It's not so much as the way he look, because I think a lot of men are misjudged if they, guys are working and they look a certain way. And I think everybody have seen on social media different guys and they looked kind of messed up and they saw a woman and they was trying to talk to her. And then as soon as he went over to his nice car, then she coming back and, trying to talk to him. But also that brings me to something else I recently just seen where a guy he actually was on a date with a woman and he took her to the Cheesecake Factory. And she was like, I'm not getting out the car. No way, no how. And there was women and men ran in. Like, when did the Cheesecake Factory become like McDonald's? Like, what's wrong with that for a date?
For a first date.
So I don't know. I think everybody have different things that they, look at certain things and how.
I'm gonna tell you about that. That's because I would have did the same thing on the reverse. I'm from Chicago. Eli's Cheesecake. Take no Cheesecake Factory. Eli's Cheesecake in Chicago.
Did you like that place?
Eli's Cheesecake is a Chicago
Oh,
cheesecake.
no, I know it. But you say you like that place?
No, I was
You took somebody there?
no, I was just making a Chicago. That was a thing that didn't go over too well. But anyway,
Really? Oh, you talking about something else? He being funny.
I'm talking
Yeah,
about Eli's.
sometimes I think you might be sipping just a little bit too much to the sipping.
He ain't had that much. It just started.
That might be true.
Oh, he just started.
All my Chicago
Oh,
people.
okay. He been on it.
Eli's Cheesecake
He
is
been
Chicago
on
people.
Been on that sizzle.
He been sipping. I mean, he can't even get a sentence
Somebody-
out. He was sipping. Can we go ahead and comment on Estrella? You can ask her that question though. We want to make
Yes.
sure that she get. You was going to ask her a question as well.
So
That's a good point. That's a good point, by the way.
Chica, what are you looking for when you're talking to a gentleman? Obviously, we know you're in a wonderful relationship, but when you first got involved, or when you first was searching, when you got with your wonderful guy, what were the things you were looking for, and did you get it? Not necessarily now you have the answer about your current partner, but it's in the past. You get what you were looking for. You get more, you get less. She's on our screen, and we'll give her answer. She's one of our people that are in there with us. So I know you can hear us, but if you are you're in tune, I would like you to type away or ask, or you can call in. We can put you in if you want to, and see what you think.
Absolutely.
So what were the things you were looking for is what I'm asking. Okay, so you got it, but what were those things you were looking for that you got? She said absolutely. So I asked her, did she get what she was looking for? I'm gonna put her comment on here. She said absolutely. She got what she was looking for in the relationship that I believe she's currently in.
Okay.
And so anyway, going back to that, we got about
she's calling in.
Oh, she's calling in.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
One second.
Oh my God. I said call in, and then here I go.
Yep.
This is called being unprepared, asking for shit that you can't do. Listen, guys.
Hold on 1 second. We gotta catch you.
This is the Mitchell and Mitchell sip and spill, where we be sipping and spilling and fucking up at the same time. Okay, that's what happens. We lost. Okay, okay now. Lord Jesus, here we go. She's on.
Yeah, she's on.
All right, we're gonna put you in. Give me a 5 or 15 more seconds, and we only got a few more minutes, so we're gonna listen to that Shalala. Say her thizzle all gizzle. Put that in there, if you will, please. Thank you. We're on our way. Just bear with us. For the love of God, if you can, only if you can. Gia?
Chica, you there? Hello? Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
You can hear? Okay, go ahead. Okay. All right.
Oh, because she's in here.
Yeah, I figure it's better to call in than try to type.
Yep.
There's a little delay on the messages.
Okay, good. So my question was, if you can hear me, is
Yes.
what were you looking for when you were, I guess, when you were in search of your partner, your spouse, your lover, whatever? What were those things that you were looking for? The boxes you wanted checked off. What were they?
I did not have no boxes. Pretty much, it was pretty much, when people say it was like a flash and you don't know what hit you.
Okay.
It was pretty much like that. And when I met my husband, we've been together for almost 8 years. Going into 9. And it was pretty much like that. It was like, we met online.
Okay.
And I move out of state. And that's where I met him personally, even though we met online previously for my move. And the day that I met him, we've been together since. Yeah, it's up and downs, but that's learning experiences. That's like every couple goes through that.
So basically, you were open. You were saying, like, you're not going to put anybody in the box or say you got to be this, you got to be that. You were open to what the universe or what was for you, and you were open to receive it, even if it had a couple of little things you had to work out with yourself or with him, and say, okay, I'm gonna be the 80% this time, you be the 20%. You was cool with working through it and getting to that person that mattered the most to you, regardless of the boxes and all that stuff.
Yeah, I never have a box because I do personally do not like to be put in a box.
Okay, that's fair.
So I don't do what I don't do to people what I don't like done to me.
Mm.
But on the contrary, there were ups and downs, obviously.
Mm.
But it was more like the universe would not allow me to completely leave when we have the down part. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like you got to stick together. You have to grow out of this, and that's pretty much what happened. We just grow up because being together so long.
So basically, you guys were committed to the evolution of what happened in the relationship. Y'all was down with the ebbs and flows or whatever came y'all way,
Whatever.
right? And y'all just worked it out, worked together, dealt with it, and fixed it and moved on.
Yes, absolutely. Because I obviously I have previous relationship and a previous marriage, but it was like I needed to change first before
Okay.
I granted that great relationship. Okay, because previously I was teaming up. That's why I comment that you attract to yourself whatever your energy field is. So if you're feeling pretty shitty about yourself, which I have in the past, then I was attracting that kind of people. You see, in a lot of ways. I mean, like even criminals. So, yeah, one of them stole my car. So it was like, you see what I'm saying? The
Right.
universe was actually slapping me on my ass. I'm not even going to say my face because it ain't past my face. It was
Wow.
slapping me on my ass until I finally get it. And once I get it, I have to move out of state to get it because the energy completely changed. Over here, where I am at in California, the people are different. The way of people thinking are different. They're more kind, which it was a little, and I did feel like I was stuck in a box. So when I met my husband now, back in the day, I felt like for the first time I was being free, even though the situation was tough. But I never saw it as being tough. I just saw it like this is what I need to do so I can get where I need to be at. And nowadays we're we're still on the honeymoon. We're going to be married 2 years now next month.
That's good stuff. And
because we grow up and have respect for each other.
And happy pre.
That's the key.
A happy pre-second anniversary.
Yes.
If I don't talk to you before then, and I know you guys are going to have a wonderful time and turn up and that type of thing. But I'm glad to hear that. That makes sense, and it makes people feel good about knowing that. I guess that makes sense too.
Yeah, there's hope for everybody.
Yeah.
I believe there's hope for everybody. You just have to change, and just because people said you get to a certain age and you're stuck to your old ways, then guess what? Your ass is going to be put out all the time because you're stuck to the old ways. That what makes you think that it's going to work if it hasn't worked in the past? What makes you think it's going to continue working? That's nonsense. And it's kind of the definition of stupidity is that doing the same thing over and over, and you already know it doesn't work. So you have to be amongst each one of us. Change first. Then the universe will grant you whatever you're asking and whatever your needs. Because you cannot ask nobody to love you if you don't love yourself.
You don't love yourself.
Plain and simple.
I love it.
It's great.
Can I comment? Can I comment on her statement?
Yeah.
Yes, go right ahead. I'm gonna put you on mute.
Okay. Let me know when.
Carl, go ahead. I'm sorry. We was talking to Estrella. You can go ahead. You can go ahead and talk. I apologize for that.
No. I want to comment on Estrella's statement once she finishes it.
Oh, she's done. Go ahead.
Okay, and it kind of going back to the cheesecake thing that Kim was talking about, because that was actually a very good point. Because the both do connect. I think the last thing Estrella was saying is that I mean, in a sense, kind of what I was saying earlier about kind of like it's an ongoing process developing yourself. So let's say the point that Kim brought up about the Cheesecake Factory situation. I think it was what, a guy brought a woman to a Cheesecake Factory, and she was disgusted, like, like where are you taking me to? I think she even videoed. She recorded him trying to be a man and be chivalrous and open the door for her. This is these are the kind of women that lose in life. People in general, I should say, because now their value system is misplaced. So when it gets to a certain point where they become boring, because they become bored, you want the materialistic thing. Things constantly change, But it gets to a point where, kind of like what Strilla was talking about, I mean, you have to kind of like adapt and change. You have to reinvent and grow. If that's your baseline of the materialistic world, then you will lose. And that's not the true essence of life. It's not true essence of relationships, which deals with growth and development, and true companionship. So I was just adding on, because once again, I like the topic that Kim brought up about the whole Cheesecake Factory thing. I'm not sure what if she want to add on to that subject.
Shika, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Carl, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure both of y'all can hear me. So I agree with you, Chica, just saying that I think in finding your person or changing yourself, you will manifest and bring what you want in your life. A lot of times that is shared, that is stated. You hear a lot of, I've seen different webinars, seminars, different people having conversations, and they say, well, if you be that person, then you will get that person, you would attract that. You have to, Carl and I was just talking earlier about Kevin Samuels, and the way he delivered the message doesn't mean that the message was so wrong or off. It's just what his delivery was, could have been off. However, but some of the things that he was sharing and stated to women, maybe if he had a better buffer or he said it a little different, maybe would have came off to where it would have been taken. It is just so, so dead ass, or you just got to be in your face or rip your bandage off, as Sip would say all the time. I feel like that you do have to change within yourself, but you have to be sure within yourself about what you want. And I think I'm just going to go back to what I say when I inventory check. You can tell it, you guys can say all day, and I can, and Chica, you can, what we want in a person, right? What we want in a man, what we want in a woman. But I'm going to say I learned many years ago, that stop saying this is what I want versus Lord, give me what I need, even if I don't know that, and help me to continue to be who I need to be, who you made me to be, in order for me to get what you say I need to have. So it's a different way of looking at things, but because he could come 6 foot tall, dark, got great money, and then he beats the hell out you, or he's not monogamous, if that's what you're looking for. Or he could come short, light-skinned, okay, if that's what you're looking for. Don't really have that much money, but he's loyal and he's faithful, but he don't know what he want to do with his life. So you constantly trying to get him to do this and do that. Or she could come with a fat ass and a beautiful smile, and you know what I'm saying, but she don't cook, she don't clean, you know what I'm saying, she don't do any of those things, she don't have no ambition, she don't, you know what I'm saying, she looks good but looks with fake, but inside she's trifling, she's, she could come with the mean girl, or she could be the toxicity, as a lot of guys say, that's just too toxic, you just snapping because he on the phone with his friend. I heard something like that just recently today. A girl got mad with her guy because he was on the phone with his friends. And she said, they asked the question of what is the most toxic behavior that you had? And she said, because my guy was on the phone with his friends, I got so mad that she started tying up everything and all his stuff.
Oh.
And the guy said, you need to apologize right now to him right now for doing that. And she said, but the fact, if you do that and you still doing that, that's an issue. And I would have thought that they were young, but they wasn't. They was in their upper 40s and 50s. So that's what I'm saying. So it doesn't really matter. I would say, I'm going to go on record to say that I think everybody to take a look, do that inventory check yourself.
You know, and I'm gonna go ahead and co-sign that. I think the part that everybody need to grow the fuck up, and I like what Estrella was saying. Open your mind and open your heart to seeing whatever. Not that's just what you want, but that's cool. What the fuck do you need? And if it's right smack in front of you, sometimes if it was snake, and Mama said it was snake, it'd bit you. And sometimes we need to look and do the inventory check and see and do like this litmus test and see what are you progressing. Is this person making me better? Yeah, sex is good, all that kind of shit, right? You got money, but am I getting better? Am I progressing? Am I being better, brother? To me, at the end of the day, if you give me more heartaches and headaches and I'm getting motherfucking moves and we getting better, then I don't. It's counterproductive. I need to be able to make some shit happen. I need to feel peace. I need to be able to give that peace that I want. The same thing Kimmy was saying. You want to be able to get the love you want in return. As a man, like you said, we got to be the professor or priest, provider, protector. We got to be that person that invests, and we got to speak into the lives of that person that we want to fuck with, the woman that's in our lives, the woman that we want. We got to build them up. So that's the thing that we're working on. I want to make sure that we implement that or encourage that we implement that in the relationships that we want. Now, my thing is this. The biggest trick is, do we have enough wisdom to know that the people we're pouring into is worth it? That's tricky. I don't know. I say, you know, I wouldn't waste all your time, or I wouldn't say waste your time, but I would say make that investment. And if it's worth it, it'll manifest. If it ain't, hey, you did your part. Just as a man, as a woman.
Comment to that.
Go ahead.
I want to say to that, Sip, that it's weird that you say that, because I just had a similar conversation to someone that said, how do I know if he's worth it? How do I know? So we all know in life, there's no guarantees, right? There's no guarantees. But I can honestly, God, say, when you pouring into somebody and the things that you're pouring into them is manifesting, coming out of them, and it's coming back to you tenfold, then you know that they're worth it. Because everybody is not going to be that 100. So don't even ask for it. Don't even look for it. But they have a strong 80. If you can carry the 20, then you got it. But together you make 100. So the way you know is what you pouring into them. Not just saying they should do this, that, and the third. But if you're pouring into them and that's coming back out in the way that you're pouring out, and they taking it and running with it, just like you tell your child, don't touch that oven because it's hot. And they touch it anyway, but they don't touch it again because they know that it's hot, right? The fact that you told them, it registered. So you could tell a person all day, don't do this, don't do that. I don't like that you do this. I don't like that you do that. And they still keep doing the same thing, right? Well, they kind of showing you who they are.
Can I ask you a question though? Are you pointing this person to make sure that what they get back is getting to you back, or are you pointing the person that person be a better person?
Well, you first have to decide if that person that you pouring into in the first place, where is that person benefiting you? When you pouring into somebody, you pouring into somebody
that's
for yourself.
You.
Yeah, that's benefiting you. Yeah. Yeah.
I absolutely second that.
Yeah,
and
you point it to somebody, that's what makes it work. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. And I will say it on the spiritual way, okay, in the spiritual perspective, okay? We have women, we are the receiver of the man energy. And that energy stays with us for 7 years, okay? So if you are wondering why this person is like my ex-boyfriend or my ex-relationship, that is why. So you have to clear up all your energy field to get rid of those energies, and then you will see that the relationships are different. But when you're running in the hamster wheel, you need to pay attention to what is going on, because it's not only the other person. They have to be like, when you're pointing fingers, all 3 fingers are pointing at yourself. So you actually have to examine yourself. Like Chica said, decode yourself and see, what do I need to change? What kind of perspective of myself I need to change so I don't not have an abusive relationship the next time I start a new relationship. But the baggage, the only way that you can get rid of your baggage is yourself.
That's true.
Okay.
And I do it magically. I use sage, and that is the miracle thing to do that. But it's not only just waving sage on yourself. You have to actually do the mental work as well.
Because
most of the times those are generational relationships. Okay, so they goes through generations. So you have to not only examine yourself, but you have to examine also your ancestors and your mother and your grandmother. Okay, to get rid of all that. It's not just I just got into a bad relationship, or I always get bad relationship. That's not it. You have to pay attention, to close attention to what is really the problem, so you can define exactly what you need to do. And nobody can do that but yourself.
Yep, I agree. And go ahead. I'm sorry. You still talking, Estrella?
No, that's okay. Go ahead, Chica.
So what I want to say in closing, because we're going to wrap up, but I want to say to everyone, one thing I can say that I want to say to my women, to the women, and I'm also talking from a place of learning this as a woman, and that is, we do have to allow men to, being a mother of 4 sons, I'm extremely proud to say that it has helped me actually discern and kind of look into them. They don't have the little lovey-dovey that I would like a little girl may have. So a lot of times I've had to be more tougher than I would like, more stronger than I would want to be. But it also has helped me to realize what a man need at different times and shapes of their lives. And I would say for that is that allow that man in your life to have the space for him to grow. And don't put yourself in a place of you're mad and you're sitting up with your girlfriends with a thing of ice cream, or you crying to a friend, or you even leaning on another man because the one person that you want to lean on and be there can't see you for your worth. If you don't realize and know who you are, only you can stop that behavior. Only you can stop that is you. You have to allow him the space and the place to grow into what he's supposed to be. Because if he don't see that about himself, it's nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing he could do for you. It has to be within himself. And a lot of times, as Carl was saying earlier about being a nurturer, you can be too much and he lose interest. I hope everybody heard that, because that is so powerful. That is so powerful. As Chica was saying, Estrella, y'all see, she said that we are receivers, and that's right. And the women, so we walk around, we carry all that. Where it's relieved from them. They don't have it on them like that no more. And you can have the coldest body, you can have the baddest bag, and at the end of the day, he still will walk away. So you need to be very careful and intentional and purposeful about what you're giving and what you're sharing of yourself, because that's the reason why you won't have to have that question or that, or that wondering or beating up yourself. I've seen so many women get so messed up and they lose themselves. So as you heard 2 gentlemen, Sip, Carl, and other guys that I've talked to, and people that's listening to this show and that's going to be watching this replay, they just gave you the play on exactly not only what they're looking for, but what they'll walk away from as well. So I want to make sure that you hone in on that, because a lot of the wisdom that Kimmy Kim talk about is talking to men that is severely at a place and an age that they're free to talk about things, and that has helped me in my life. So I want to make sure that I share that to so many sisters that call me for advice. So a lot of times we're trying to heal the little person in ourselves. Take time to do that, because you're not gonna find being completely healed with the men when you're trying to heal. And men also, if you're trying to heal things that have been through your life as a younger man, things you experienced, things you suppressed, things you never talked about, you need to heal that in order for you to be that whole man, that peace provider, protector, as Sif say. I think that in order for a man to even be anywhere near that, he got to know who he is.
Got to know who he is, got to be healed. Listen, guys, it's been our time. Listen, we are on the verge of some great stuff. We got some big events coming up for the next couple of weeks, next month. Yeah. You got followers. We're going to be out in Miami. Make sure you tune into that. We're going to be in Atlanta at I don't know if it's a red carpet event. It's a masquerade party. Kimmy Kim is going to be on location. It's going to be off the chain. We got some other events. We guys want you to please like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. Let me say it again. In reverse. So subscribe, like, and share. Or no, subscribe, share, and like. Subscribe, share, and like. Meaning, when I say share, I mean tell your peoples. Now, Also, I want you guys to give us some information as who you want us to talk to, because we got some people that we want to interview and talk to. We're going to be pulling up. We just got some access to. We might be pulling up in an area near you. We talking about we're going to be on site with our studio and everything at that location. That's what's in the works. So we got these events coming up. Stay tuned. We'll look us on Instagram, on Facebook, YouTube. Obviously, we get all our information on Facebook group, Facebook business page, and also on our Instagram. Follow us on there. Make sure you subscribe and share with your friends. We're trying to blow up. We need your help. I want to say this, though. I want to tell you that we appreciate you. Don't ever get it twisted. We appreciate you. We thank you. It's been almost 2 years, and we've been starting this as we've been on a journey, and we had a couple little spaces and gaps where we weren't whatever because of my situation, but we're back, and we're here now and better than ever. We're upgrading. We're moving forward and onward. In the next few weeks, you're going to see a lot of changes as you see us putting our information out there. Please subscribe. We need subscriberships. We've been trying to do it very organically, and that's what we're doing. We're organic, just trying to build our base. We love you guys, all of those things. Make sure you fuck with us the long way, not the short way. Even fuck with the short way, make sure you invest in us as much as you can. I don't give a damn. Rock with us though. Yes. So again, these other ventures we got going on. We got a breast cancer awareness, which will be happening next weekend, next Saturday. Yeah. We got our, we'll let you guys know about our
live Sweetest Day, no draws day,
butt naked basement party. We're going to be live in the place or whatever with an exclusive party for us. We're going to invite you into our little space. What we're going to be doing,
we'll be live, y'all.
Right now it's private, but the next couple of years will be a lot more involved and blah, blah, blah. But follow us on that. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Carl, thank you for jumping in. Estrella, we appreciate you for being so wonderful and supportive, guys. Kimmy Kim, are you good? You done?
We good, y'all.
Listen, we like you. We love you. We want more of you. It's been real and it's been fun. And now, listen. Every time we do our motherfucking show, every time we get down with y'all cold, slick, old, beautiful asses, it's always, trust me when I say this, I ain't lying to you. It's always, goddamn it, real motherfucking fun. Holler back at your peoples.
Peace out.
We out. Goddamn it.